Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. How many times did you hear the truth tellers, the free mass media in the West telling us, that the Russians are critically low with their missiles? They're done. Well, I can remember the first time when I read it was, I think, in April. In April, I think it was the British intelligence that showed up and say they're critically low. They're almost done. And I made a video I think it was in April, and I calculated that if you figured out, it was in the first 5 weeks of war or something, or 4 weeks of war, 5, something like that. And I said, well, calculated by that, by May, they should be done, the Russians. If they depleted their stock that much, by May they were done. They were not done, obviously, and over again they told us the same disinformation, misinformation, stupidity, however you want to call it. Now, again, they come and say, well, the Russians reached, again, a critically low level of their missiles. Again, let's say how I function. Possibilities and probabilities. The possibility is 100%. Could be possible. How probable is? I don't know. Unless I know some numbers, I really don't know. Why? Because they tell us so many times that I don't believe anything they say. I didn't believe from the very beginning without verifying. But I'm just saying, they told us so many times that no. So I have this article. Let me show you what these guys are saying in Ukraine form. It is from today, the 17th of April 2023. Russia's missile stockpile is close to critical, but new attacks don't rule out. Okay, so when you say close to critical, how much is that? Like 95%? 98%? 75%? They said this many times. Anyway, they don't give you that information for the reason why I don't see any numbers here. Besides the 50%, and if you know the 50%, you have to know how much they had and how much they have right now. Okay, these are the missiles and so on. So I don't see the number. But anyway, let's go back to something else, which is reading a little bit the article. The Russian army will save missiles, but Ukrainians should not relax. Russia leaves missiles attack as one of the priority ways to give itself an artificial advantage when there is no success on the battlefield. It is an advantage or not. It is because they have it and they can use it, and you don't have it and you can't use it. So yes, it is an advantage. What are you talking about? The head of the Joint Coordination Press Center of the Southern Defense Forces, Natalia Humenyuk, said this on the air of the national telethon United News, Ukraine form. And I'm quoting, they are ready to use weapons. No shit. The other issue is that they are really trying to save, and this is still a high precision weapon that they prefer to use against specific targets and specific objects to have the appropriate result. Although we know some cases when they fired at a completely peaceful settlement. In Odessa region, 7 caliber hit a school, destroyed a culture building and so on. But they had such opportunity to luxuriate then, and now they still have a stockpile of missiles close to critical. So they will likely save, but it is possible they may still use them. So she said they have close to critical. Okay, I want evidence. All right? It's true that the Russians did not do their monthly attack yet. Maybe that's one of the reasons why. Maybe not. Now, when I tell you that, how should I put it? Well, I'm critically low with my money. What does that mean? That means I know exactly how much I have left and how much probably I had when I started. All right? So I'm expecting them to tell me or us, if they want to be credible, yeah, they have about 3.5 more missiles, okay, out of 3,529. But they don't come and tell us this. The only time, which I applauded, I don't know if that was true or not, I applauded, was Reznikov, that weasel, yes, Minister of Defense of the nation of Ukraine, when he came on, I think it's sex, sorry, my bad, Freud. Anyway, 6th of January, I think it was, I'm going to show you here, when I covered it, where the Ukrainians came and said, you know what, these guys are very low and we're going to give you the information. This is the only time when the Ukrainians came and said, well, this is the number. And it was a fantastic chart. I don't know if it was accurate or not. This is me right here. Obviously, this is from, I think, 6th of January. And this is the title of that video. Russia low on missiles again. Chart is beautiful. Chart shows exact number of Russia's available missiles used and produced. That's how I expect. Even if they lie, at least, make a nice lie, or at least a supposedly exact lie. Give me numbers, and you become more credible. So check this out, and it's a very beautiful chart. I included over there. Reznikov was a gentleman at that time. But I calculated that, again, based on that chart, because they also said how many they produced from the start of the war. It was a fantastic, normal chart of normal people. Right? And they didn't miss anything. Fantastic. But I calculated that by that chart, they're losing. So the stockpile goes lower and lower. Doesn't increase. It's going lower. I calculated by, I don't know, March or something, they should be done. Check that video out. I can't remember what was the exact month I said that they must be dead. They must be done if the depletion of their stockpiles continues as they say, and they're still having. So Hemenyuk, when you come with numbers, we're gonna talk, baby doll. By then, go and suck your lollipop and leave me alone. But anyway, it's good because that gives me a little bit of reason to show you how these guys are functioning. I can tell you anything. You see, they make claims, they don't back them up. Now, if Lavrov would have come, or not Lavrov, let's say Shoigu, or Peskov, or Zakharova, would have come and said, Ukraine is running low of I don't know, men to fight, something like that. Do you think that these guys would have reported that, like, allegedly, claims? Yeah, that's exactly how they would have reported it. Zakharova claims unfounded, providing no evidence, which is true. That's exactly true. That's how it should be analyzed. I understand this article comes from the Ukrainians about the Russians, but still, you as an individual have to respect yourself. You have to respect your integrity if you have any. And don't come with something like this. Hemenyuk tells us this, and then Ukraine Forum, which is state-owned media, isn't it? Founded and all that by... Where did they get the money? They're a bankrupt country anyway. It's unbelievable. Anyway, so they come and say they are critical low. You don't provide evidence. You don't give any little door of a possibility that could not be true. You come and state it as a fact. That's a fact. It's not a fact. It's a statement made by you with no evidence. Zero evidence whatsoever. At least give me some number, baby doll. Give me a time, location, the hotel, and all that. You know what I mean? So let's go back to read this article here and see what else they tell us. Maybe we missed something. According to the spokesperson, she is a woman, Russian missile carriers are currently on duty in the Black Sea. But as the storm rages, the occupiers start bringing the ship group to their basing points. Well, that means that's why they don't conduct that attack yet. And according a 4 to 5 point storm for the Black Sea is quite powerful, but we shouldn't relax. We remember that they often left their submarines on duty even during the storm. Hemenyuk emphasized. Yes, they have 2 of them on duty. As yesterday. Commenting on Russia's intentions to launch mass production on Kh-50 missiles, I think these are the, caliber, Hemenyuk noted that Ukraine needs more powerful air defense systems as the existing ones are worn out because they work very actively. Okay. That means if they work very actively, that means these things are also active. I mean, if the existing ones would hit the Kh-50 missiles, that means there are a lot of Kh-50 missiles to be shot down. Or the existing ones are just hitting whatever, Second World War shells or something. Yeah, okay. And I'm quoting, "We will need protection for our period of time. for a period of time. But the conclusion is that the sanctions are working. If they, Russians, revive the production that can do without the sanctions components. Well, but the sanctions need to be strengthened, including to ensure that the production is also will be stopped. Well, what do you want? Gumenyuk. Hemenyuk, what the hell? Who Hemenyuk? Where are you? Humenyuk. Now is Gumenyuk. You gotta, guys are in a hurry. Right there, where are you, Gumenyuk? Right there. Anyway, so as reported, Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Oleksiy Hromov, said earlier that in June of this year, Russia plans to start mass production of Kh-50 strategic air-launched cruise missiles, which will allow the Kremlin to intensify missile strikes on the territory of our country in the autumn. At the same time, since February 2022, Russia has used up to at least 50% of its stockpile of long-range anti-aircraft missiles. You do not know a percentage without knowing where they started and where they're at. Alright, so what the hell? I can tell you, hey, you know what, I used almost 50% of my money. Okay, from how much? I gotta tell you, from $100, I got about $50 more. That's 50%. Otherwise, how in the... I know. You know, science and exact science, I'm talking about philosophy or psychology or sociology, okay, which could be, you know, they have their theories, but theories is still a theory. And then you have or models. I have a stack of those kind of books. Anyway, so the exact science and physics, you know, the laws of nature are still there. They're not going to be altered because you wanted them altered. I mean, this, if I drop it, it's still going to go down unless I throw it in the air, but in the end, it's still going to come down. Anyway, the Russians still have missiles. And if they don't, they will use something else. Why do you think they're going to just sit down and start crying now? But again, this lack of accountability of their statements, and that's a spokeswoman of the Ministry of Defense or something. She got the information from some professionals. Now, the professionals were what? In disinformation? Possibly. What is that? Keep your mouth shut. But at least if you say that, you're going to have people like me who are going to see through it and going to ask questions. Because I refuse to be a 13-year-old kid that, yeah, Hemenyuk, I believe you. No, I don't believe anything you say. Why? A pattern showed me that certain things that you said, you're not, you know, consistent. Consistency makes people wonder, if you know what I mean. If your wife doesn't show up every night at home, and from time to time she shows up, would you trust her? Just as an example. Why? Because that's the easiest way to make people think, get them out of their you know, reading these things, unless you put them in a real situation where they would affect them sentimentally, because they don't use too much logos, they use pathos. So pathos, my wife is not coming home. Where is she at? Well, I tell you where she's at. Somewhere else. Anyway, just kidding. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.